What up, what up? Coming with a quick video. And today what I want to talk about is depression and having a depressed mind state. A lot of people go run to drugs and believe that the drugs are going to help them, but the drugs only help them for like a couple of minutes and then it's back to being depressed. Is it a disease? I don't know. Everybody is different in this world. Everybody takes things different. People who don't understand death, and then when they're in a situation when somebody really close to them dies, their life changes. Their whole mentality, the psychology of their life, everything just changes. And it's weird that how one person would take the same situation and do something else with that energy. As far as, for example, like let's say you got siblings and your mom dies. One sibling might just be depressed the whole day, and the other sibling might just take it as, my mom is going to a better place. Life, wasn't so easy for them. It just depends. I know at the end of the day you're gonna miss somebody when it comes to death and things like that, but depression kills a lot of people. People are on drugs. I've been watching a lot of documentaries on people who are on crack, heroin, even weed, alcohol, ecstasy, mollies, and to me the worst out of all of them has to be either heroin or crack, because their whole life just changed. Their whole life. They had one story of a guy who worked at Wall Street, and he was I think he was Bonds. I think he was working with Bonds. I believe he was smart, educated, but he went to the drugs, heroin, and man, if you see him now, it's just a big ass difference, and it's scary at the same time that what people will use to get that high just for that one moment. And heroin too, if you get off heroin, it is such a downer, and the symptoms of not taking it, I think, is worse than the symptoms of taking it. You feel me? Once you get hooked on heroin, and I just don't know how people like pinching themselves with needles. You can also snort it or whatever, but I digress. But at the end of the day, if you start working on yourself, and then when bad things do happen, I think it's easier for people to handle it and take care of the problems that they have. Life is going to be life. Life is not easy. Life is hard every day. Things happen. So when it comes to depression, just find ways other than drugs or substance abuse to do to yourself, because it's getting out of hand these days. It's just crazy. And it's sad because people lose families. People just lose their business, their money, their house, just because over a $10, $20 hit of heroin, some crack. You feel me? So even weed, people lose their life over weed. I'm not saying that weed is still a drug, as far as it has chemicals reaction in your body, and it's probably the least worst of all the other drugs above it that people are abusing. But at the end of the day, it's still drugs. You got people still out there abusing it, who will spend all their money on it and then make an excuse that is nature and God gave it to us and we should smoke it all the time. I'm not saying, people, but some people should not be doing any kind of drugs because they just can't handle different situations. You feel me? And if you're broke, you should not be taking drugs at all, because then you're spending your money on drugs and you don't have money to eat, you don't have money for housing, you still live at home with your mom, and you have children that you don't pay child support, and a family that you need to raise up. And any kind of drug at any moment should not be taken if you're in a situation that you don't have money to eat. Never ever. And people out there would do whatever it takes to get that fix of drugs before they even eat. So when it comes to depression, do the best you can to do it in a, how can I say this, in a damn, I don't know the word to come out to say, just in a more holistic way. You feel me? You can't put your whole life in a pill, in a cigarette, in the smoke, in the alcohol. You can't. Don't let that run your life. You need other substance. Start reading a book. Go take different lessons. Just go back to school. Because life, you only have one life, and if you spend your whole life just doing drugs and sitting on the corner in the streets, it's just a waste of life. So depression might hit. Find other ways to deal with it. One.